Never would have hitchhiked to Birmingham if it hadn't been for love. Never would have caught the train to Louisiana if it hadn't been for love. Never would have run through the blinding rain without $1 to my name if it hadn't been for love. Never would have seen the trouble that I'm in if it hadn't been for love. Never been going like a wayward wind if it hadn't been for love. Nobody knows it better than me. I would have been wishing I was free if it hadn't been for love. Four cold walls against my will. At least I know she's lying still. Four cold walls without parole. Lord have mercy on my soul. Never would have gone to the side of town if it hadn't been for love. Never would have took a mind to track her down if it hadn't been for love. Never would have loaded up the 44, put myself behind the jailhouse door if it hadn't been for love. Well, four cold walls against my will. At least I know she's lying still. And four cold walls without parole. When Lord have mercy on my soul. I never would have hitchhiked to Birmingham if it hadn't been for love. Never would have caught the train to Louisiana if it hadn't been for love. I never would have loaded up a 44, put myself behind the jailhouse door if it hadn't been for love. If it hadn't been for love. If it hadn't been for love. Yeah.